This is Today in the House of Representatives. My name is Robert Haynes. The program Today in the House of Representatives is an Avalon program that highlights activities from up capital Hill, making you to hear and know what your lawmakers are doing in the best interest of this country called Liberia. This program is on ELBC every Thursday, 5 to 6 o'clock. It's being relayed on Radio Femiton 87.7 megahertz in Margibi County. A repeat of the program comes on Fridays 6 to 7 p.m. on Radio Famiton 87.7. It's been produced and presented by the House of Representatives Press and Public Affairs Bureau. This program features reports from the House's committee meetings with in-depth interviews and analysis about the legislative processes in Liberia. Today is Thursday, is August 4, 2022, is the 216th day of the year. There are 149 days to 2023. Too many ambitions. Many people want to contest to go to the House of Representatives and the Senate. So you have 149 days to do that. 2023 is just readiness to the corner. My name is Robert Haynes. Welcome to the platform. We're here. We'll take a break shortly. When we come back, we'll bring you amazing facts. And of course, we'll tell you who is around the end of the table as a legislator. As we said today, we'll be taking a flight to one of the counties of the 15. I'm back shortly. Welcome back to the program. Let's now go over now to the Press and Public Affairs Bureau of the House of Representatives to bring you amazing facts about the legislature.
Do you know the House of Representatives works through committees, with primary being the highest decision-making body? Do you know the most protective area for the Liberian legislature constitutionally is their chambers? Do you know Article 42 back the chambers of the legislature in favor of the lawmakers, that all statements made in the chambers shall be privileged, and no lawmakers shall be held accountable or punished thereof, but whatever said must be refined, mature, and based on issue under deliberations. Do you know the Committee on Rules, Orders, and Administration supervises all committees? Do you know the head of the legislature is a speaker, while the chief administrator is the chief clerk? Do you know sessions are called to order by the sergeant at arms? Do you know a bill is considered engrossed when it has been passed by one of the houses and is assigned a number called engrossed and sent to the other house for concurrence? Do you know a bill is considered enrolled when it has passed both houses and assigned a number called enrolled number and sent to the president of Liberia for his or her approval? Do you know t-shirts, trousers, track, sport clothes, jeans, trousers, and other casual wearing are not permitted in the conference of the Capitol building?
Of course, those were our amazing facts for today. Thanks a lot. It's wonderful to be here on your platform again to talk about those activities from up Capitol Hill, making you Liberians ordinarily to know what your lawmakers are doing in the best interest of this country. You elect your lawmaker. They are there working in the interest, knocking their chest on your behalf, working diligently. To some of you who may or may not have understood the workings of the legislature and say that lawmakers work only 2 times a week is far-fetched, that the lawmakers work the 5 working days of the week, because Monday is for leadership, Tuesday is to debate, they go to plenary, as you heard in our amazing facts. Plenary is the highest decision-making body in the legislature. And then on Wednesday, of course, they go to committee meetings. On Thursday, again, they go to debate issued in the chamber in plenary. Then on Friday is the time for constituency business. That is the time you use as a constituents to go and visit your lawmaker, and maybe you have issues for the district and that can be discussed. So folks, welcome to the program. This is the public affairs program of the House of Representatives. My name is Robert Haynes, your host on the program. Today we are taking a flight. The last time we were here last Thursday, we had the Deputy Speaker of the House of Representatives, Honorable Councilor J. Fonati Kofa. This time we're taking a flight. Of course, he represents Grand Crew County, still in the Southeast. We're taking a flight to River G County on today, electoral district number 3 of River G, as we play host to its direct representative, Honorable Francis S. Topo II. He's here with us on today. He is a very strategic person on the House's Committee on Ways, Means, and Finance. He has the Secretariat of the Ways, Means, and Finance Committee. He has a financial background. He's here with us today as our guest. The people of River G County electoral district number 3 had no time to make mistake electing him to the legislature. Great time to be here with us on today. Good evening. How you doing?
Well, thank you, Robert, and thanks to the crew here, and my appreciation to the ERBC family.
How is the legislature doing?
Well, I can say now we are on the break. As you know, we had to schedule our break consistent with our new legislation of the Public Financial Management Law that will allow us to be back so that we can do the budget process. So
Right.
the government have moved to the I would say the Canada-rise budget system,
Right.
where we now move from January to December of the budget year. So with that, we will have to, I would say, calibrate our break in a way that we can be able to be back to do the budget work.
Okay, so it's tradition here on the program to basically you come from your county, you want to greet your people in your vernacular?
Oh, I can say that, obviously, I can say to my people, Chipo, Ejiadin Wio, Ebianio, Emoaju Sede, Diagua, it's on to us working.
What were you saying?
Oh, I said the G people, I'm here to tell them, hello, I'm their son, and specifically I come from Tuobu, Swek. That's my town.
Okay, that's wonderful. So I wanted to begin this conversation looking at your work in the legislature. You have 3 legislative cardinal responsibilities: lawmaking, oversight, representation. Elected by the great people of electoral district number 3, River J County. Let's begin first with our lawmaking.
Well, so when we were being elected, we told our people that we were coming at the capital to help to make smart laws. And by the grace of God and the support given us, being at the legislature, we have worked with our colleagues in championing laws that come from the executive, laws that come from other organizations in the interest of Liberian people, and also laws from our colleagues that we thought they are very important. And then we also thought to sponsor our own bill in the interest of Liberian people in River G County.
Right.
And I would say permanence of those laws has to do with the Standardization Act of 2019 that was passed by both houses and signed by the president in October. And that law is intended to make sure that we set a standard in the payment of salaries to public officials. In time past, we have both salaries and allowances, but then we thought it was important to have a single line for the payment of salary. Because when you have salary, your salary is protected by law. The allowances are, it varies. People used to give allowances to employees by the way they think or the kind of work they do in their own thinking. But we thought it was good to have it standardized so that people know that. So when you are a minister, ministers across the board should have the same amount based on the service and thing.
Right.
Deputy minister, the director, and so forth. So that law helped, to put the government at the level.
So can we say that that laws sought to provide equal work for equal pay?
That's the objective, to see how best that we can make sure that looking at the both vertical and horizontal approach to salary.
Right.
So those are also closing the gap, vertically in terms of between deputy minister and minister, because you don't have a wide gap also. That's the vertical aspect of it.
Right.
Horizontally has to do with making sure that when you are a director in an administrative area, and then you have director pay. So you can have one director in this other agency making more than another director.
Right.
That's the essence of the key objectives of the law.
That's one.
Yes, so the second one, this one, also in the interest of Liberia, but specifically in the interest of River G County. As you know, today when you tour River G County, you will see a lot of our young people, they are on the gold mine, into illicit mining. They see that as a way of getting the daily bread. You also see them riding the pempe and the keke. You know, in the future, one pastor said that Liberia is going to be challenged, you know, with the issue of relationship gap, where you see our young daughters are coming out to see who they're going to marry, whether they're going to marry keke or rider or pempe and rider. So you want to help you with skill. I mean, I have a history of working on a breakthrough fee, or working, selling kerosene and other things, okay? But these are not occupations that you bring to the table,
Right.
but they are means of survival.
Especially at time evolving.
Obviously, so while they are finding means of survival, we think that they should learn some technical skill, not just only having a degree, because this time everyone run for the degree, but it's better to do something with your hands. So the Vocational and Technical Institute was intended to make sure that indeed we train our young people in the area of carpentry, tailoring, we say food sciences, just specific areas, okay, and drafting and so forth, so that tomorrow, if we want to build River G County, we should not just be bringing, so for example, we bring in companies that will come, okay, now we don't have a lot of companies in River G County, but there's a future for everything. So when we bring those companies in, there's a need to make sure that indeed that we have the level of comparative advantage over other counties.
Right. So those are key legislation you sponsored, and I show, like you mentioned, the National Remuneration Standardization Act of 2019 that was initiated in from the beginning part of 2019. It got passed in October, and then from the greater end, like you mentioned, the people of River G stand up greater chance to benefit, and also the act to create the Vocational and Technical Training Institute that also got printed into handbills in April of 2020. So now let's look at your oversight.
Well, so in terms of oversight, as you know, oversight basically is consistent with committee's work, okay, and also making sure that indeed things that affect your people are brought to the plenary and taken to committee room. So the effectiveness of my oversight pivots on the committee I work, I serve on, and that's the Committee on Ways, Means and Finance, looking at the budget, and then after looking at the budget, look at the performance of the budget process. I also serve as co-chair on the Justice Committee on utility that has oversight over electricity and that of water. So obviously our role there, we've been working to ensure the effectiveness of the LEC, the West African Power Pool process through, and also the rural renewable energy process that has to do with solar energy and that of building out turbines and dams in the country. As we speak today, there is a funding from the Abu Dhabi Fund for the construction of the hydropower on the G River in River G County. Right. Another one is the Wendy Fall also in Nimba County. So that's part of our function to ensure that these things are done.
Let's look at how effectively you've been in terms of your oversight representation for the people.
Yes, so obviously, as we speak down today, River G County is benefiting from the cross-border electricity project. Poles have been planted across from the Crownken in Webo, coming as far as Fishtown. Okay, and the process is ongoing, and I see the level of efficiency. Beyond that point, when it comes to working with the budget committee, we have ensured that indeed our health centers, our educational sector gets some level of budget support. Fishtown Hospital has a growth in its budget appropriation, not just on the appropriation, but the effectiveness of the fiscal outturn of the budget. So before we have the performance of the Fishtown budget, which was 100,000 in Fishtown Hospital, around 70 to some 80%. Now we are proud that indeed we are good. The last budget period it was up to 100%, and indeed this budget period we also want to ensure that we go to the 100%. The WRTTR has also benefit from the budget. We also have been ensuring that indeed funding available to that institution goes there. On the national level, being the head of the secretariat of the budget committee, we have done a roadmap that has to do with making sure that agency do supply the performance report. We are reviewing those performance reports and then making sure after that we'll do a PSRP. The PSRP is the public sector investment program or plan that we're going to follow up on those things. So when the government gave, let's say, pay out to, say, JFK for dialysis, our job there to make sure first whether the JFK have received the money. After that, we want to see whether JFK has done the job. So that's part of the roadmap and the walkthrough tour for the PSRP implementation. So the committee have done its work, and then we want to start now to evaluate those performances.
That's excellent. Our guest is Francis Topo II. He's the direct representative of Electoral District Number 3, River County. He's our guest here on the platform, explaining his legislative work up Capitol Hill. Later, we're going to come to the district. But you were very vocal on the floor of late, talking about some situation in the entire southeast part of the country that has to do with health. And you wanted the plenary to invite the Minister of Health, the Minister of Finance, and the CSA. Let's talk about that.
So just to add to that, when I'm listening to the level of education that you are providing on this platform, on the amazing fact, and I want to draw my conversation on that, that the plenary is the higher decision-making body of the House, and the committees are workshop committees.
Right.
So what you want to do as a lawmaker is to make sure that your communication hit the plenary, because it brings the attention of the government and the world to your concern. So the health workers in the southeast, River County being, I would say, a fulcrum of that conversation, had to go slow in the process. Because it goes slow, we noticed that indeed a 10-year-old girl was refused to the clinic and she died. So that was just the concerning point of our advocacy. So we thought that to bring it to plenary, to have a conversation that the Ministry of Finance, the Civil Service Agency, and also the Ministry of Health, to see what we're doing for that. Fortunately for all that, the speaker, seeing the wisdom, along with our colleagues, that communication was open, and we discussed that, and we invited the various, or say the relevant authorities, and they came, and from there they are starting to work with the aggrieved workers on the issue of their concerns. Has to do with the volunteer health workers who are not on payroll. Those who are on payroll, the inconsistency of their pay in terms of the cost that they receive every month. These were things that were very important, to the discourse. So we have to advocate for that, and you cannot just run to the committee room. You first want to go to the platform where your colleagues are to get the weight of the committee work. So I think progress has been made, and that's part of our work. In fact, that's the key to our representation.
Can we say yielding dividends so far?
Obviously, and it's key to now the workers are back to work. They are helping the team to get it done. If I will receive information that they are discovering ghosts, ghosts, local ghosts and international ghosts. So right. Obviously, it taking heat.
So with that said, let's now go over to your district to know the kind of great work you're doing in your district. How did you meet the district? How far are we now? You've been lawmaker for River District number 3, 5 years now, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's know in terms of those things you're working on in your district, in terms of projects, what are they? So,
like I said, we have our cardinal responsibility to make law, to have an oversight, and also make representation. At the same time, we have added in African politics, parliamentarian politics, we've added what we call moral intervention.
Okay.
Because of the small budget size of our country and the competing needs of our people. So as a lawmaker, you wouldn't just say that because I'm making law, I'm having oversight, and also making representation, so I cannot intervene. So we do moral intervention. So before we took over in the district, bar roads have been the challenge of our people. And I can say to you that as a government, okay, through our advocacy, we have been making some impact. We have about 4 roads that have been done, feeder roads in the district, through the Ministry of Public Works from the off-budget support of the CTAT fund and the Swedish, assistance. From budget support, now as we speak, so you can now see that the African Development Bank have supported, the government for the Carlocan Fish Town highway, which have been completed to a larger extent. So you can easily move now from Fish Town to every part of my district on the main street. And then you can also access the district from 4 different angles, from from Webo to Yanyanken, from Webo to Webo Silwaken to Yiwaken, from Tuobo Babliken to Tuobo Sweken, from Tuobo Weirstown to Peloken. Now we've also managed to have in the current budget plan of the public works that we have appropriated funding to the national budget envelope for roads such as the one from Yinembo. You walk into Yinembo. Yinembo is isolated. They have to access River G County through Maryland, which is very difficult. And so that road, they have done the assessment already. They are developing the BOQ to go through the PPCD process. Wulaboken to G2 is also a challenging part that goes to the G-Blacken border to access to Ivory Coast.
Right.
And then the River Bear, the famous River Bear, those days where we have the NWPR company there. So the road have been challenging going to Yubo also close to the Côte d'Ivoire. So that's also a distance, and those assessments have been done. And then the Cheboken, that's not in my district, but the fact that I'm on the work committees on public work and the ways and me, I have to also look over to other part of the county. So Cheboken to Silverken will also is going to be captured into this budget. It's captured to the budget process, and then the assessment is being done. That county road. When it comes to representation in the district, it was lacking. Most of our structures on the ground, the women structure, the youth structure, the elder structure was not in place. Today we have district development council. We have had several meetings. Every year we had a district meeting. I'm one representative that is keen to tell the people my challenges, the things I've done. So
many you regularly reporting to your
obviously, so we had the 2018 sitting in River Bear. We had the 2019 sitting in Yintiambo. We also have another city in Tuobo, that is for the township, because we have 9 townships in my district. 15 townships in my district and 9 chiefdoms. We have those briefing. Then we had the 2021 city in Sabo, Sweken, and also the annual festival for our people. We told our people that indeed we are going to walk the walk and talk the talk. So when we want to dance, we want to show achievements. So we appreciated our nurses and our teachers, and our business community, and the disabled community also, because they are also there to work, helping us do. So that's part of our representation. So we have the district traditional council is there, meaning to address the issue of land dispute, tribal dispute, and antisocial vices that we call trial by due, or due. So the council is there. We've committed up to 300,000, though we have spent more than 300,000 anyway, but to make sure that they get operationalized to do the job. So the youth have had their various conferences, the women also. So they are coordinating, because we thought that individual petitions, cannot help the process of the development. So the group petition is better. So when they go to meeting, they bring out the kids, and that helps to make our work easy. So that's the kind of relationship that we have and what we are doing. We have support now in the budget for our health center or system in our district, that is the Sabo Health System. That is also, there's some level of improvement in our health services. Some of our health workers are on payroll. Our chiefs, town chiefs and paramount chiefs, let's say clan chiefs who are now on payroll, they are gradually getting on payroll, and they are all support that also go to our city, Mingo support, working with the Ministry of Education, and to make sure that indeed through the off-budget support program that come, so there are some schools that are getting grants. Okay, we were also able for a moral intervention, which I want to talk about now. Before 2021,
that's making it number 4 of
yes,
the 3
that's the moral intervention. When people ask you, what have you done? When
Right.
you hear people say, what have you done? That's that's the key part of that. If I taking more than 60% of our daily function now.
Right.
So if you were to go to River G County before 2021, and you get from Fishtown, I would even say even from Kidipo, Kanwiken, used to be very dark. Okay, today we're able to supply and install 600 solar lights in the district and county. So as you are driving through, you will see the place very bright. And also that effort was complemented by the government through the president with 400 lights. So that's 1,000 solar light, of which we have provided 600 for our people. So our district is bright when you are moving through that, because life is education, life is health, life is entertainment. Okay, so we thought it was important to make sure that indeed, and life is security. Okay, so when it comes to connectivity, we will be working, engaging other partners. Fortunately for all, we want to say thanks to MTN and that of Orange to see the need that at least some major part of our district you can make communication, and that is also good for trade. Yes. Part of the moral intervention, our people are assessing.
Are they not climbing up in the trees to make calls?
Oh, for the most part, they are not doing that now.
Okay.
They are not, and it's gradual, but for the most part, they are not doing that. As far as Yubo, that you could walk 9 hours on Yinembo, them not say Tuobo in other areas now, you can just be there and make a phone call, and you can stay under the solar light. We are fear to make a call.
Right.
And then we also we've launched our marine program, because I would say a greater percentage of my district borders the Côte d'Ivoire. So the people access through Côte d'Ivoire through the Cavada River. So we have launched the marine process. We've done one for the Yanyan border to Tipoto. So where people used to go on the canoe and people are dying, maybe 2 to 3 persons, sometimes 4 hours or 40 minutes of canoe ride. Now they are taking just 1 minute of boat ride to go through and bring the goods over.
So you got a speedboat there.
Speedboat there. We launched one with the Gibraltar border. We are in the process of doing 2 for the Cyclican and that of the Slough border in the U-Ball area, the Glaro area. Those are part of our moral intervention. Coupled with some renovation of schools, given the terrain of our area, the storm is hard, so some of the job done by NGOs for those schools, they were not up to standards, so they won't have to, remove the roof. We are now, doing one. We did one in Riverware. We did recondition in Turbo Swaken, the school that I attended in the 80s when Hotel Ganga was the Minister of Education. So that school
you went back to make sure that you renovate.
Obviously.
Okay. So that's wonderful. Our guest is River G County District Number 3 representative. He's very young. Like you hear him from his voice, see him, you know that he's a very young man. He's our guest here today, talking about his legislative work both at the capital and in his district. Well, like that district he has, according to him, 600 solar lights, 400 provided by the president, and in totality 1,000. You have 4 feeder roads being worked on already. We know that the people of River G County, you don't ask them, and let's hope that more of those things will come about. We're going to shortly go to the lines just in 1 or 2 minutes. Let me come back to you to ask you. Let's look at the cordiality between your constituents and that of your district office.
Well, so I can say obviously it is great. It is challenging also, because when you create a room for people to access you, obviously you will have multiple requests in terms of their needs. You will have multiple engagement in terms of some of their shortcomings. Right. And that is very good, because no one is an island, no one going to be perfect. Okay, so obviously that relationship is there, and we are working. And I can just say that my people are not certified, but at the same time they are appreciative, because certification also based on the president's expectation. But when it comes to the greater needs of the district, they know that indeed I'm making effort to achieve those.
What can we bring as your greater achievement so far since becoming a legislator?
Well, so I cannot use my moral intervention as my greater achievement, but I can say I'm enlightened by what I do morally for my people. But when it comes to making law, my greatest achievement, I can say from River G County, is the passage of the technical and vocational training school, because that will leave. If I were to conduct a personal TV program, why if I'm not there tomorrow? How does it continue? Why if I don't have the financial to do that? But when you are able to make sure that it's legislated and the government has a responsibility, that is an achievement.
That's wonderful, of course, and that was printed into handbills. It's a law. It's being printed into handbills.
And not just only handbill is in the national budget. on the Commission on Higher Education.
That's wonderful to hear you say that. And on the 14th of April 2020, it was printed by the Ministry of Foreign Affairs into handbill. The act that created the Vocational and Technical Training Institute of River G County. And like you say now in the budget. So great time here we can interact with the public. 0770259660. Of course, the Lone Star number here 0880514096. Call us to be a part. It's your turn now to ask the lawmaker. He's given you his legislative work up Capitol Hill and also in his district. And of course, you know, there are three cardinal responsibility, but he said, look, there's a number 4 there, which has to do with moral intervention. So he mentioned that. Let's go to the line, take a couple of calls. This person in the line, good evening.
Hello.
Welcome to the program. Good evening.
Yeah, I'm Peter calling from Plymouth District.
From Plymouth, that should be in Maryland. Go ahead.
Yeah, first of all, I want to congratulate Dr. Jim Mutonyong. I think we are getting one of 5, one from Grand Crew, the speaker at the first time, one from Summer County, Mr. Donkey, and Mr. Young in River County. So I was congratulating for.
His name is not Mr. Young. His name is Dopo. Francis Dopo.
They need to get mixed up with the two Francis.
Oh, okay. He's not Francis Young. He's Dopo.
Okay, thank you for
Kind of like one person glory out to another person.
Yeah, I want to congratulate you for a tremendous work you are doing for the Europeans. God bless you.
Thank you so much. Let's take more of the calls. 0880514096. 0770259660. That's our alternative number. It's your turn to talk. You're listening to the program today in the House of Representatives. We're here on the radio every Thursday, bring around the table lawmakers and they tell you about the work they're doing up Capitol Hill and also in your respective districts. Let's go to the line, take more of the calls. 0880514096. Call us to be a part. We know that as the lawmaker said, his district is not dark. His district is light, and I'm hoping to go to that district to see.
Obviously.
You know, and the good thing about solar lights, you don't have to put generator on. Once the sun shines, you're good. Good evening.
Yeah.
Welcome to the program. What's your name? Where you call from?
Okay, I'm Benjamin William. I call you from Harper, Maryland County.
Go ahead, Williams.
Okay, I want to say bravo to the honorable man in studio. I'm here from River G County, district number 3. I want to say bravo to the honorable man for his work that you are doing in Robert G County, in district number 3.
Right.
I want to say congratulations for your work that you are doing, and praise and promise that 2022 go for second term. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. More of the concerns can come. Of course, the numbers are 0770259660, 0880514096. This person on the line. Good evening. Welcome. Welcome to the program. Your name, where you call from?
Let me say thank you very much. My name is Roland Tiba, the name of the veterans of the world where I joined the conversation from Central Marvel this afternoon.
Go ahead.
Let me say thanks to Honorable Dopo. I think it is important, it is necessary to see a lawmaker discuss in such a manner. I'm using Honorable Dopo, the opposition lawmaker who understand to collaborate and work in hands to ensure the growth and development of this country can west. Using as a case study to all lawmakers who are in the opposition, specifically on the younger Conrad, to desist and follow the footsteps of Honorable Dopo. If listen to Honorable Dopo, cataloging all of the achievement, those challenges that he's going through, it is necessary government, not just very important, it's about engaging. So we want to call on Honorable Dopo to keep on the good work, because without a sound and independent opposition, this government will not do it best. So we want to call on Honorable Dopo. Thank you very much. We hope and pray you continue so that this government, your check and balances, your critique, your criticism on this government will help to also improve and put our government on track. Thank you very much.
Thanks a lot. More of the calls can come here. This person to hit the line. A pleasure to welcome you. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. Your name, where you call from?
I'm D. with Robert, currently calling from Morovia.
Go ahead.
I want to thank the representative for the good representation, lawmaking, and otherwise. Well, he mentioned some roles still G, and did not give credit to the Ministry of Agriculture. That the role leading from Tobo,
Slobo, sorry, I said the Ministry of Public Works and also the Cedar Farm.
He said Ministry of Public Works and Cedar Farm. Cedar Farm for us
That's
on our way.
SAPEC, yeah, that's agriculture also. So you're right.
Yeah, he said the
Yeah.
Cedar. He said the Cedar Farm. You know, agriculture people now.
Yes.
He mentioned that.
Okay. I don't know what plans the honorable man has for agriculture as a whole in the county.
Okay, he's taking note. He will respond to that. Thank you so much, my brother. Right, more of the concerns will come. Let's take another person here on the line. Hello. Sorry, you're very low. Yeah, let's hear you.
Hello.
Your name, where you call from?
I'm B. Wisa, and I do call you from GSA. I'm commonly called the Roger Ambassador near Monrovia.
Okay, but you get your representative here. Go ahead, Ambassador.
Representative Dupo, I want to say thanks to you for your deliverables in the House of Representatives. I follow you, and one big thing you said, and I appreciate it, is the technical and vocational training that is being passed into Handbill, and we hope and pray that our government will be able to allocate funding.
The message is in the budget now, as we speak. In the budget now, money and all there for you now.
Okay, then thank you very much. But I still want to be on your team because I'm the Roger Ambassador near Morocco.
That means you got to contact him now. Okay, thank you. Thank you so much. Let's take more of the concerns right here. This person in the line, hello.
Yeah. Good afternoon to the host.
Welcome to the program.
I'm Somaneme, and I'm part of the conversations into the community.
Okay.
I'll let you know standard analysis that performance on our sensitive. And I think it is necessary that this platform will give lawmakers a chance to explain to their constituencies to see how best to uplift and inform their members about the working activities on Capital Hill, because there are a lot of information within the public that there are a lot of concession agreement and people agreement that there's a need that you people come to the district to provide clarity to the people onto the working activities of you guys as legislators, so for the benefit of the people you guys represent, because you guys represent the people that the interest of the ordinary people to be met at the national scene, not selfish and individual interest. So I think I want to congratulate on our local for his better weather during the regime, and we from this we are following the discourse and watching, and we'll continue to advocate for people. Thank you for putting the opportunity.
Thank you, my dear brother. We're here every Thursday. This person on the line. Hello. Good evening.
Chief, greetings.
Welcome. Your name, where you call from?
Yeah, I'm Christian Boega Puga Junior. And I'm joining for my residence this evening.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, let me appreciate you with you for the extended deliberation. But Chief, I want you ask when I go to Tupu, right? Because
Hey, you right on the phone now. He's listening to you. Just ask him. Don't tell me to ask him. He's listening to you.
Yeah, thank you. So, he outlined so many things. But to be frank, I think it is good when our lawmakers are engaging the public radio. They should go with fast, right? Because there is a man who abandoned his people in his own district number 3, when his people were in dire need of preaching. They were in dire need to accessing their beyond town and villages.
So, say you're talking about facts. So, what are your facts? What year, what time, what month, what date? Bring your facts too.
No, the thing is.
No, we can't do the thing is. You're talking about, sir, you get the time to talk. You get the time to talk, right? You said when the lawmaker come to the public, when the public you come with fast, you don't want it. So saying you're talking about only letter your people, we are listening to now. Let me talk. Yes. 1 month. 1 month. 1 month. 1 month. 1 month. What date? What year?
I'm telling you, the people.
Oh no, but you can't do that now, but we'll take another person.
So thank you very much. Thank you.
Hello. Welcome to the program.
Yeah, good evening.
Oh, your background is very noisy. We'll take another person here. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome to the program.
I'm Tito Massacre, and I'm calling from Broadview.
Go ahead from Broadview. Great to have you.
Thank you. I just want to appreciate Honorable Francis Senator Agbatobo of Radical 3. You know, when we have 3 on October, Radical County, definitely Radical County going to be like Maryland. those that saying negative things will join hands in here for the growth and development of Reggie County. Thank you.
Thank you so much. We're taking more of the concern. Let's now take another person from this end. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Thank you for your welcome, Mr. Whitley. Good afternoon from Maryland County People Software District.
Go ahead from Plebo Sodican, where the speaker comes from.
Yeah, New Jerusalem.
Yeah, from Maryland to Virginia. I want to thank you to the honorable man, to the radio station for the work that you doing. No need to do program local youth.
Right.
So thank you for the work you doing. And today I want to hear my call lawmakers to the radio station and to the way you're doing to the other countries.
But any other day we had a speaker here in Cap and Plebo, we had a speaker here. So we'll be bringing in one. Yeah? That's what we'll be doing. So let's take more of the calls. 08805140996. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Welcome to the program.
Thank you. This is the Agnes Tapet. I'm calling you from Grand Judah County, specifically.
Great to have you from Grand Judah County. Go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you, Ramadofo. We've been following your political landscape of Riverview County, specifically District 3. And I know that some of our lawmakers on the Southeast can go to the national radio to explain some of their legislative functions. You know, you explained it, and we understood that there's a need that the people had a change come 2023. Because, you know, there's other lawmakers that have been in the House, and today they cannot explain detail about how they function legislatively. So if we listening to you giving updates back home, some of us, we are happy. Yeah, we are happy. And I appreciate you for all you are providing today to the public. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. That's what we always do to bring your lawmakers here. You know, it's part of our participatory democracy. Good evening.
Good evening.
Welcome. Let's hear you. Your name, where you call from.
I'm Joe Koyi coming from People Software District 5B.
Go ahead. Let's hear you.
Yeah, I want to say plenty thank you, me and I know Bo, to Mr. Rupo. That what we're looking for in the Southeast region. We're not looking for people who can collapse with the material for Southern County. You say Senator collapse with balance, all those things, but we want people that unite. I know I want for you to go as Senator for everybody to enjoy humility. Thank you. God bless you, Mr. Rupo.
Thank you so much. More grace to your elbow, Dopo. Let's take more of the calls. Good evening. Good evening.
Yeah, good evening.
Welcome to the program. Your name, where you call from?
Yeah, this is Brown Tati calling from Capitol Hill.
The great Brown Tati from Capitol Hill. Go ahead.
Yeah, Director, thank you so much. And let me say thank you to Honorable Francis Dopo. But specifically, I want to thank you, the Director, because that gentleman who was trying to, malign the character of the Honorable, and you held him, you gave him time, and he could not explain himself.
But he said the post you come with facts, so I told him, so what date, what time, and he ought to bring your own facts.
You wouldn't feel to come with fight, then you have provided your fight. But let me go to the Honorable. You know, sometimes we find it difficult, sometimes when the budget pass, and then, say for example, road network. How many road network from this county to this county? You know, these are some of the things sometimes the constituency member can get angry, Robert. Because if they say, oh,
and you asking the right man because he's a strategic man, he's the secretariat head.
And at the end of the budget year, then maybe your own area not touch, then your honorable is not talking about you. So I want to ask the honorable, if you people passing the budget, especially on the public work, maybe rehabilitation road,
right?
The public work can submit those areas that they're supposed to do under that budget before you pass it. They don't know exactly whether they will reach your county or they will reach your district or the passing block, and then the technician of public work will determine which area they have to rehabilitate. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Let's take two or three more. I'll come back. This person in line. Good evening. Hello. Good evening. Good evening.
Good evening. How are you?
Welcome to the program. What's your name? Where you call from?
Okay. I want to say thank you for your program. Also, I want to say a big thank you to the Honorable Man Office for the great work I've been doing in Reggie County. But I agree to your office that you should call the lawmaker of Maryland County too.
Okay.
Let us go in the studio so the citizens can interact with them. Why is it all the time they refuse to go in studio. Please,
No, no, no,
go on
please.
then.
The lawmakers
Yeah.
from Maryland don't refuse. The last time we had the head of the legislature, which is Speaker, he comes from Plymouth, Southern. We had him here. Of course, you know we have 15 counties and we have 73 electoral districts across Liberia, right? So the Press and Public Affairs Bureau, what we do normally is to invite each lawmaker. Like you, so we can have people from Maryland to dominate. So we have somebody from River G too. The last time we were here, we had the deputy speaker. He came from Grand Crew County, so we'll be going to the county like that. So we also have the time another time again for somebody from Maryland to come. River G, Grand G, people to asking for the lawmaker to come to. We'll do that small, yeah. Let's take another person in line. Hello. Good evening. Welcome to the program.
Yeah.
Welcome. Yeah, welcome to the program.
Yeah, Moses Chicope and I'm joining for Grand Chile County.
Okay, Moses, go ahead from Grand G then.
Yeah, I want to say many thanks to the Honorable God. I say I just from G the Peter and I saw the road leaving from Can Weekend all the way to Fish Line. I saw it, at least it was good. But I'm very bad luck, I really want to say many things to you. But I really want people to help us too for Grand Chile because one day then I go on and say radio and explain that I do that 12 years, 18 years, and then go down and do explain what they want to do for the county. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Of course, let's take just this person from this end too as well. Let's hear you. Hello.
Good evening,
Good evening. Welcome.
and good evening to the peace loving people of Nigeria. My name is Obi Oniu Johnson, and I joined the conversation with the headquarters of the Veterans Bureau in Joe Community Spirit.
Go ahead.
Well, let me appreciate Representative Doko for his brilliant presentation. And I think it's important for our lawmakers to be able to inform their people as it relates to their working, especially when it comes to their three cardinal responsibilities of lawmaking, oversight, and representation. I think these things are important, and I want to appreciate you as a professional person to continue to invite those people to the national discourse in order to inform the Liberian people on their working. And lastly, I want for Representative Doko to clearly or come up with this position, especially when it comes to the issue of legislative engagement and public accessibility, especially with regards to the most recent 30,000 that each of the lawmakers received. What's his stand, especially when the people in Liberia are currently facing with the issue of law. Thank you.
Thank you so much, my dear brother, for being a part of the conversation. Of course, as the horse's spokesperson, let me inform you that the legislative engagement funds is a liquid money. It was not stolen, as many people would think it is. But good that we have the lawmaker. He will give his perspective, and I'll be able to close up on the show like that. You listen to those concerns from our callers, and you are here.
Okay, now for my notepad, I just got up and gave out. So for those that send the commendation, I say thank you. I feel challenged by your commendation. For the critical points being raised, one of the caller talked about the issue of whether there is a master plan that come or whether there is a plan that comes from public work for the budget. Yes, so the budget is a big book, and if you were to put all of the working papers in the budget, it will be very difficult to read. So each agency that bring in the presentation, it goes to committee room and we'll do the working paper. So the public work normally submit what we call the road master plan. And we look into the road master plan and see the kilometers of road that go to each county. Unfortunately, I won't memorize the kilometer for each of the other counties, but for River G County, for this budget period, 65 kilometers. That's why the Yinambo Road, the G2 Road,
That's why you're
Road,
concerned. That's why you're concerned.
Yeah, that's my representation on the committee there. So, yeah. The issue about abandonment, one of the callers you're trying to ask the question of when and where. If a man abandons his district, then the issue of his representation in terms of district sitting for every year tells you that he never abandoned his people. Because if I abandon, then how do I go there every year to do representation by having district meeting and so far, okay? Providing solar lights, mobile intervention, marine boats, and other things for the people, and you say abandonment. Well, when your political leader go to help people in my district because he contested to be senator at the time in 2020, it's not bad because he wanted to be senator, so he had to help my people too. Nothing wrong with that, okay? Just I myself also helping people in other districts too. And even in Monrovia, I'm helping people. So nothing wrong with that, okay? But I have never been abandoned my people, and I cannot do so. There was a concern about, oh, sorry, the last part maybe. Let me get this. Oh. Uh,
That is talking about the $30,000.
Good. I know. I knew that indeed I would have made this year. And let me say very clearly, it's hard time that we accept, the issue about the concept of effective governance. People should not be afraid of the public because, they want to be transparent. We have advocated at the legislature that we need to run an effective office, in our district. And to do so, you have to invite your people. You didn't even ask me the question. The 5 district meetings are held. Okay, how did the people conglomerate? How did they go back? Somebody coming from G2 that you had to pay on a motorbike for $2,500. From U-Ball is $4,000 to come, $4,000 to go back. And I'm calling youth elders and women leaders to come so that I can give my presentation. Would they not eat? Would they not sleep? Would they not go back to be transported? And are you saying that I should take it from my salary? Is that effective representation there? Is that what you're saying? First of all, they agree on the concept, not the amount. The amount of 30,000 is 2,500 per month. So she just said to you, under the amazing fact that we work with our constituent on Friday. Some of we are challenged of not going back home on Friday because of the bar rules and the distance. Right. But indeed, our people also access all at the capital. Are you saying they should not drink water? Are you saying that? Are you saying if they come and cannot afford to transport themselves and go back home, we should allow them walk to go back home? Is that effective there? And this is not screens. Maybe there's a need that screens to you. In the U.S. Congress, there's something called MRA, Members Representational Allowance. Most of you, or some of you, sorry to say, some of you spend your time on the Google, on the Blue app, but not reading. Try to Google on the U.S. congressional budget. It's not the amount I'm discussing the concept. Each U.S. Congress member has $970,000 to run an effective district office. Get it clear? To address the issue of the media, to engage the public, to engage the constituent, to even pay for their home offices. If you don't know that, that is member representational allowance. That is different from the operational budget of running Congress. That is also different from their salaries. So when we say 30,000, that 2,500 a month to run the effective office, each minister in the executive has an entertainment budget. They have a career budget. You don't know that? Are you saying that when you go to meet the Minister of Finance, the Minister of Public Works, you should not drink a bottle of water? Should that minister take the money from the salary? Now, those who are running away from that, maybe they have other way of getting money. Okay, but in terms of transparency, we must first agree on the concept, and then you come to the money. If you say the money is too high for us, then understand that indeed the engagement will have to reduce. And you don't want that. So when you invite me to a program in the district to speak to my people, are you saying that when the students are on the sun and no water, I should not provide water for them? Is that what you're saying? Who is taking the money? So if I give the money to the student, are they not Liberian getting the money? So if your district lawmakers are not using the money effectively, take them to book. But I am using my effectively, and I wait for my 30, and I will continue to receive it once it's there in the budget because I will have to do that. I have impacted 138 students at the top of university paying their fees because government pays the tuition. Complementing government effort paying the fees. I have students in JV, I have students in Weber High School. Right. So I can tell you that indeed I'm running an effective office and I'm proud to be there because I don't want it to be hiding on the corner somewhere. I want to be exposed so that I take it and you can ask me to account for it.
West cannot be rigging, we have to run. So with all of the practice and your representation at the level of the legislature, particularly the House of Representatives, and not just any house, but the Honorable House of Representatives. So can you tell us with this that you're seeking re-election?
I'm seeking re-election to the legislature, but for the Senate.
Oh, for the Senate. So many of your districts going to be vacant. And,
I'm a man who I'm being told you can't hold shoe and hold kingdom. So I don't want to be a sitting representative contest and create a cost for the government budget. Right. So I'm going there because the people think I should go there so that I can spread the level of leadership that I'm carrying on in my district to the rest of the county.
To cut it across.
For the good of the county.
That's wonderful. By the way, let me inform you, Liberians. Some of you, if you don't know, you have to know. River G is one of the youngest counties in Liberia. It was created in 2000. So if you know now, you know that River G is not like Grand Bassa, my county that have been here ever since, like Sano that been here ever since, like Mosterado that been here ever since. So the next time we're here will be on next Thursday. Have a wonderful time. Yeah, we hope you enjoy the show today.
It's so good, and I will have to encourage my guys at the Radio G and Voice of Rebel to, I mean, to turn to your program.
Thank you so much. Thanks a lot to the management and staff of ELBC. That's why it's a state broadcaster cutting across. Very soon we'll be way in Ghana and all to be hearing us because this management is doing all it can to make sure that the wheel can keep spinning here in our country and the people in the the western region of the continent can follow activities from Liberia. Thank you. My name is Robert Haynes. Thanks to the staff of the Press and Public Affairs Bureau. Until Thursday, have yourself a God